Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Bit of a green day for crypto, which is obviously epic to see, up, between 5 and 10%. Some of those altcoins going above 10%. And yeah, of course, it's nice to see green days, a little bit of a pump on the shorter term timeframes. But for now, Bitcoin is still stuck below that 110.7. This is, of course, the previous high over here. So still stuck below that. Ultimately, we said, I think over a week ago, that we're most likely just going to see a range in the zone over here, which is still very much on the cards. So as long as Bitcoin is above that 105K level, then I am expecting that range to occur. So again, basically a range in the zone over here, of course, between the all-time highs over here. So you can see all-time high zone over here. Bang, let's make that a red because that will be our resistance. And then that 105K zone is green over here. Maybe you get a bounce off that 107K zone just below there. But this is the range that we are expecting until we break the range. A big move is definitely coming though, guys. It's definitely coiling up. Crypto is coiling up for a big move ahead. And I do think it is to the upside. However, I do see a pullback in the shorter term time frame. I'm going to go over Solana and Ethereum and a couple other charts today. Not much has changed, so we're not going to have a long one today at all. Forex Factory, we have the FOMC meeting minutes. That's at 8 p.m. tonight. So potentially expect some volatility in the next 4 hours. So that is potentially on the cards. If you have a look at High Block Capital over here, you can see that the majority of the market participants are positioned long, which means that we could see a pullback. Okay, we could see a pullback. There is liquidity at that 111K, so maybe a liquidity grab of that high that we spoke about earlier. If you have a look on the shorter term time frame, we do have liquidity at the bottom coming in at the 107K. That obviously lines up with this red box over here, 107K. So we could see a move down to 107K. And on the shorter term time frames, liquidity is a little bit up, a little bit down, but ultimately a little bit nowhere. So we can basically expect a potential move to these blocks over here. I said this green line. If we get a daily close above the green line, that's of course the previous daily high of the previous higher low over there. If we get a daily close above that, very bullish, and you're most likely going to see continuation to the upside. That is for Bitcoin, but for now, still looking good, still above this breakout zone. Depending how aggressive you are, you can see it like that, which it is currently above. And if you are a bit more conservative, you can see it like that, which is also good. And we have taken out the weekly high, which is bullish. We have taken out that Monday high over there. Is it a liquidity grab or is it trend continuation? We'll have to find out. But for now, it is looking good, guys. And wait, before we move on to Solana, I'm still in the long, guys. I'm still in this Bitcoin long. We're still in from that 102K zone. We got in on this low over here. We said we're going to get a strong bounce potentially off this 50-day EMA, which we did see a strong bounce. Still in the trade. Yeah, stops on our move to below this low over here. If you did take that trade with me, and the end goal is this upper bound over here, which we are targeting. It is a longer term swing trade, so the trade will look something like this. If you are long, you can put your stop below 198K. If not, you can put it at break even. And we are targeting this upper zone over here. 135, I think, is a great target over there. Nice risk reward of 8-1. If you did take this trade with me, if you want to be conservative and move your stop to break even, you can. However, if we do come and visit this 105K zone, we could see a wick down. So I'm not moving mine to break even yet. I don't think this low will get taken out, but bullish regardless. Let's get into Solana quickly. Solana is starting to, make a move to the upside. Of course, we did take this long a while ago. We took it on the 1st of July. We took this long. Of course, the breakout and the retest, perfect retest over there. I would love to see Solana get above these important EMAs, guys. So if you can get above the 200-day EMA, that's coming in over there at 159. If you can get above 159, close some candles above 159, I think you'll be looking really bullish for Solana. Basically, if we can get above this high over here, that would be incredible. So I'm watching out for that. If we do make a strong break and a retest of the zone over here, that is when I'll be scaling into this trade. I'll be probably doubling or tripling the size of this, and then I am expecting much higher targets. But for now, it was a 1 to 2 percentage risk of the portfolio, so not too much. But I am enjoying that it is starting to consolidate above that 141 for multiple days in a row. That's telling us that it is in the stronger half of the range, and it is looking for higher prices, in my opinion. But obviously, following Bitcoin's going to go up, Solana is going to follow. ETH having a nice move over here as well, coming into that 2,750 target. We are, of course, long from 2,500. We got long on the retest on last week, I do believe. We got long over here. Bang. We said this is most likely, this is a very high probability trade over there. Stops were below here. Nice trade like that. And we are targeting this for potential TP1. If we get above that, then obviously $3,400 and $4,000. Those are the targets for Ethereum. I'm very bullish on Ethereum. You can see we're about to get the golden cross on Ethereum. So over here, bang, golden cross on Ethereum. Looks bullish. Will we come back and retest the golden cross? I don't think so. I think we've already front run that on the recent one where we did go long. So yeah, bullish for Ethereum, and you can see we started to make that bullish market structure. 1, 2 pump. We got into this one over here, and then we are expecting higher prices. So that is for Ethereum. Only time will tell, though. If we can start to close daily, multiple daily and weekly candles above 2,750, we're looking really, really bullish for Ethereum. So those are the 3 longs I'm in, guys. Mainly the blue chips: Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. XRP just got into a XRP long today at about $2.33. I said, guys, this looks really bullish. We've had that first daily close outside. It looks like continuation. We've taken out this previous high, and we've taken out the highs that were in for June. We've taken out the June high, which on the monthly time frame is bullish. If we've taken out a monthly high, that potentially tells us that the tables are turning. So I do think this breakout is legit. The RSI, if we can get the RSI to break above that 70 zone, look something like this, this will be looking really bullish for XRP, if you guys know what I mean. Break above here and then start to move like that, I'll be looking really, really bullish for XRP. So I have taken this long, 5 to 8x leverage over here. Got 12% drawdown, so you can go 8x leverage, risk 1% of the portfolio. If you are conservative, you can take some profits off the table coming into $2.52. Of course, the macro 50% level. Come into there, maybe get another pullback before seeing that price over there. I'm personally not interested in a take profit that is right over there. I am hunting that $3.40 zone, the all-time high. That is what I want to see XRP get to. Let's speak about Bitcoin dominance quickly, guys. Bitcoin dominance shaping up for a potential altcoin rally over here. And what you can see is the Bitcoin dominance RSI has now fallen below 50. This is a great sign for altcoins. Last time we saw that, we saw this big dump over there. We have broken down of this upsloping support. So you can see upsloping support, 1, 2 over there. We've not broken down that, which we spoke about, and we've closed 1, 2, 3 daily candles below there, which is a bullish sign for altcoins. What we want to see now is that loss of the 50-day EMA and then a move back into our box over here. This is where we're going to be taking some profits from the altcoins, maybe putting them back into Bitcoin. I think we'll get a strong bounce over here. And what you can see is we're starting to form a potential range in the zone over here. The big move is still to come, guys. I speak about this every single stream. I do think we're going to get a move down there, maybe a bounce. And if we start to consolidate below this 200-day EMA, and the 200-day EMA does start to roll over, this is when we're going to see that alt season, guys. So if you are a more conservative trader, you can most definitely just wait for this to happen, okay? We might see a small pump here. It's obviously great getting the top, getting the long over here. I mean, I've personally been long on altcoins for basically the whole year, if not before that year. So a little bit down on that position. But at the end of the day, we all know that cycles only end with Bitcoin dominance at the end. So if we go into the weekly time frame, I speak about this every stream. The cycle only ends when Bitcoin dominance is at the bottom. Cycle ended over there, cycle ended over there. So we are expecting the cycle to end if Bitcoin dominance does come to that 43%. That is the bullish case for altcoins. The bearish case for altcoins is that Bitcoin dominance comes down to that 52%. So that is the take over there. We do have the first sign and symptom of Bitcoin dominance weakening, which means altcoin strengthening. That is the loss of this upsloping support over there. But multiple daily candles close below that 50-day EMA would be very bullish for altcoins, of course. And I have spoken about those top 4 altcoins at the moment. I mean, the top 3, and then including Bitcoin, have to be long Bitcoin, guys. We are bullish on Bitcoin. USDT dominance also on the brink here, looking like it wants to collapse over here. We started to lose that level with the pump earlier today. But what we do want to see is this level over here be taken out. If we can take this level out over here, this would be looking really bullish. So we can lose it like that. Bang, retest, and I am seeing a big dump for USDT dominance. Of course, altcoins will be benefiting from this the most. But for now, I remain very bullish on crypto as long as USDT dominance is below 4.81%. As long as we are below this 50% level over here, I'm very bullish on altcoins, guys. So it is time to get into those longs. Of course, we can long some things. We've seen stuff like Bonk, huge run on Bonk. It doesn't look that big, 100% move there on Bonk. We do want to see this high be taken out to continue the bullish market structure. That we're looking really good for Bonk. And some things are starting to pick up. It looks like, this pattern where you get higher lows and a kind of flat top, an ascending triangle, if you call it that. You can see over there. And then, of course, this coming in at a steeper stage over there, steeper gradient over there. These do often break to the upside, and we are starting to get above the 50-day EMA. This is for Ondo, of course, guys. Very bullish on Ondo. I remain in this long, guys. Huge long over here. I am targeting $3 for Ondo. So, this is potentially the time where this all happens. We spoke about how long these things can accumulate for. This was our kind of zone over there. If we have a look at this accumulation was 100 days. And if you have a look at this accumulation over here, which, we could start the accumulation over here. 100 days is soon, guys, 100 days. But from here, 100 days is up, so we are expecting a move from there. But maybe this is the start of the accumulation over here, and 100 days is mid-July. So, guys, I think it is time for a massive pump for altcoins. Let's see, guys. Let's see. Sui, let's have a look at Sui. Of course, Sui is one of my biggest altcoins, obviously fighting with that $3 level. And you can see that we have broken out over here, but we are currently wrestling with this EMA cluster over here. If we can get above $3, it would be so bullish for Sui. I think, buying that retest of $3 will be pretty huge for the program. I'm going to keep it red for now because it is resistance. As soon as we get above $3, maybe pump up to that $3.30 over there, come down to $3 again. Huge buying opportunity, in my opinion, guys. Huge buying opportunity. Sonic not looking great, to be very honest. Yeah. Of course, just an idea over here. But, this could potentially be a deviation below the range. I mean, I can't be too bullish here. I wouldn't be bearish on Sonic. We have broken this down-sloping support over here. I wouldn't be bearish. And I think, risk, a pump is due. If you are a Sonic bull, I do have a position on Sonic. I could wait for, $34, $36, even $40. I would be waiting on this trade. I wouldn't be buying now. I would like to see something like that, then a retest of that 39 cents. And then we could be getting long on Sonic like that. Nice trade, obviously stop below there. and then targeting the top of the range, giving us a decent risk to reward there, and of course much higher targets when we do get that USDT dominance collapse, guys. So that is what we are looking for. But we could easily see a little double bottom over here, something like that. Maybe this does chop around here, and we do get that another leg down like that. So I would be waiting. Personally, I'd be waiting for the 50-day EMA to be reclaimed. If your chart's below the 50-day EMA, it does have resistance above it. If the 50-day EMA is below, it does have support above it. We'll have a look at WOL. I haven't heard of WOL, but we'll have a look at WOL. WOL USDT. Okay. Not sure what this does at all, guys. Never seen this chart before. But yeah, nice to see some volume come in on buy. But over here, of course, we had these lows over here. Wouldn't be too concerned about this launch over here. This currently looks like a low, and we could draw this down here. Looks like a nice low and a retest. You could get a long in here. Your long would look something like that. Obviously a swing trade, and then targeting this higher kind of range over here. You can see lots of buyers and sellers over here. This could be a trade if you are looking for a long. Of course, our idea behind this is that the RSI is ticking up over here. So you get the RSI ticking up whilst you are holding flat over here. That is a bullish divergence. If you can get this RSI to get above 50 like that, start to get a breakout above this 50-day EMA, this will be looking really good for, well, just from a charting perspective. But that previous risk reward that I had, if you are bullish on this, stops below there, and then targeting that range over there. Obviously, TPs along the way, 50% level would be huge here. Let's check what the 50% level is. We take that 78 cents down to there. You can TP1 over here, TP1, TP2, something like that, guys. And if you want a place to flip your stop loss to break even, something like that. This will be a trading idea, guys, for WOL if you are looking for a long in the markets today. How's it going, man? Yeah, great to hear that you are doing well. Good stuff. Keep it up, bro. Keep it up. What else is looking interesting, guys? Personally, very bullish at the moment. I do see a big break coming. ETH's looking really good. Again, about to get that bull cross over there. Let's have a look quickly at the macros. Let's have a look at Coinbase. Coinbase also looking good. Bullish on Coinbase. MicroStrategy bullish above this 50% level and 50-day EMA. So this is a good zone. If you are looking to get into a MicroStrategy position, it would be in the zone over there. That is a good zone to get into MicroStrategy. Otherwise, guys, not too much happening today. There we go. NASDAQ futures all-time highs right now. Guys, remember, there's nothing bearish about all-time highs. We go into the hourly time frame on this. Okay, there we go, guys. We just hit NASDAQ all-time high on the futures. There's nothing bearish about NASDAQ all-time highs. So I'm not sure what the news event was today, but it looks bullish. S&P 500 obviously catching up. The NASDAQ all-time highs, S&P not all-time highs, means that the market is risk on. And if the market is risk on, it means that crypto usually gets a pump. This is just a sign and a symptom, guys. So I wouldn't be bearish on crypto at all. But let's see, guys. Let's see. We have spoken about those levels. If we do get a pullback, which could be on the cards due to the majority of market participants being long, that 105K is the area for a long. But guys, crypto pump around the corner, very bullish. 135K is minimum target for my Bitcoin long. Thanks for joining the stream, and we will see you guys.